What's happening, people? Welcome back to the Brothers Geek Out channel. It's another episode of Fight Talk with the BMAs, the basic MMA analysts. Two brothers just talking about and geeking out about fights, more specifically the UFC. We had the UFC 301, which we're going to talk through and give our thoughts about it. Just wait for K West. Hopefully, he'll join soon. If not, I'll just do a quick solo one just to give you my thoughts on the fights. Normally, guys, check the description. Normally we catch up about our lives and what's going on and whatnot. If you want to skip all of that and go straight to the fight talk, just check the description. It'll be the first thing there. In this case, I'm going to get straight into it since I'm solo and just want to get straight into the fights. So we had UFC 301, Alexandre Pantoja versus Steve Erceg. Erceg. Hopefully I'm saying that right. As you know, I can't read for shit. But anyway, for the flyweight title bout. Now, this card coming after the 300 card, it's always a hard one to top. That would always be hard. I mean, 300 card was so amazing. So anything coming out after would always be kind of tough. But we had some really cool fights. I mean, and we'll get into it in a bit, but Jose Aldo coming back for me was the highlight of this card. That's what I was looking forward to the most. Such a legend, and just to see him come back and I was a bit nervous about him, but we'll get into his fight in a bit. But the title fight, now Steve Erceg, I believe that's how you say his name. He came off a win in March, I believe it was, a knockout win, and then they offered him this title fight on a short notice period. This fight card happened in Brazil, so I believe I think it was short notice and whatnot. He really pulled off, and he's number 10 in the division, and he showed that he belonged there. At first, Pantoja came out round one, just all guns blazing, just putting on the pressure, putting on the pace, the grappling pace. His grappling's amazing. I mean, in this fight, we had some great grappling exchanges, great scrambles, and Pantoja ultimately, I think, won based on the grappling and control of grappling. I think I'll call him Steve. Steve, from round two, end of round two, round three was able to kind of manage the pace. Like he didn't get too overwhelmed, so he managed to control the pace. That's what it looked like. The 5-round fight. I believe this might have been his first 5-round fight. So he managed to control that pace, control his conditioning and cardio and everything, and was able to kind of put the pace back on Pantoja, who exploded in the first round. Right, it really came out, guns blazing, striking, grappling, and that was beautiful in the first round. He kind of mixed it up and ended up controlling at the end of the first round. And Steve was able to kind of keep his composure and then use his range a little bit. That jab, that front kick, use the range because he's quite big for the division. And ultimately he won. I would say one round. I don't know, maybe round two. At the end of round two, he was winning, but say round 3 and 4, maybe. Not that Pantoja was fading a little bit, but he was still putting on the pace. Round 4. So round 4, I think Pantoja kind of faded. I don't know if you wanted to take the round off or whatnot, but Steve was looking great in that round. So I think round 5, it was very close. It was very close, and it came down to that round. And Pantoja came out, again, guns blazing, just that last round, pull it all on the line. Steve, during the half of that round, so in the round 5, I think round 5 was the main round that kind of called the card. Like, Pantoja came out, if I remember, he took Steve down, was able to control. Steve got out, started controlling again the fight in the stand-up. And then for some reason, he tried to wrestle. He tried to take down Pantoja, and maybe he wanted to get the control at the end and kind of look that he was dominating in regards to control. But Pantoja's, I mean, they're both high-level grapplers. But Pantoja's just a high-level black belt, jiu-jitsu expert, and was able to kind of reverse the position and ultimately end up on top at the end of the fight, if I remember. He ended up on top. And I think that's what lost Steve the fight. He shouldn't have gone for that takedown. He should have stayed standing. He should have kept control and show his dominance standing on the last round. And I believe because he didn't, he went for that takedown, he got reversed, ended up on his back. That's what I think lost him that fight. Otherwise, it came down to that last fight. If he kept it standing, if he kept showing that he was moving forward and able to pop the jab and whatnot, at least show control, he possibly could have taken that. But the fact that he went for that for the takedown, and then I think that was a mistake. And I don't know if that was, maybe he felt something during the fight that he was able to, maybe he thought Pantoja would be, gas himself out again for that last round, and was able to, thinking that he could just take him down and control him. But ultimately, I think that's what lost him that fight, because at the end of that fight, it looked like, Pantoja was on top, and it was a close fight, two rounds each. But I think just I think the grappling exchanges and the scrambling for this fight was just amazing. The pace that they put on was just fantastic. And it showed Steve, like, even though he's at 10th position in that division, that he could definitely, he could definitely um he definitely belongs up there. He definitely belongs up there. So I'm just pulling up that division now. Let's see who's next. I know Muhammad Makayev wanted to get in there. You got Brendan Royval, who had a great fight last time. Brandon Moreno, who's also awesome. Kai Fox. This division has still got a lot of potential, man. Muhammad Makayev is number 6. Um, Steve today is still at number 10, which is interesting. It's interesting that they gave Steve this title. Maybe they couldn't find anyone to fill up this card, this Brazil card. They put this Brazil card on, and they probably wanted to have a Brazil championship fight. Obviously, they used Pereira for 300. So the other Brazilian champion was Brendan Royval. So I guess they wanted at least him fighting on this card. So maybe Steve was the only one available and was able to, do the fight at that short notice. I know Muhammad Makayev wanted that, but it was probably, training camp would have been during Ramadan or whatnot. So a lot of the Muslim fighters want to fight there. So interesting. Maybe Makayev gets the next title shot. But that was an interesting fight. But I think Steve's definitely up there, and he showed that he's a force to be reckoned with. Let's move on to the bantamweight. This was the fight that I was looking forward to the most, just because of Jose Aldo, the Rio King. It was so great to see him come back. Obviously, I was a little bit nervous for him as well. I believe he retired after his last fight, and I'm trying to remember who he fought last, and if he lost or not, because he had a good winning streak at one point. He was coming back with a good winning streak. I can't remember off the top of my head now, but I was nervous for him. I was like, oh man, please don't come back. You're a legend. He went into the Hall of Fame. No need. Just chill. You know what I mean? And he was going up against a beast, an up and coming beast, Jonathan Martinez. And what I loved about it is Martinez is great for his leg kicks as well. He's seen a couple of his highlight reels and like finishing people with leg kicks. So it's kind of like the old school original leg kicker Jose Aldo versus a new school Martinez. But Aldo looked good. Aldo looked good. I think he'd done a boxing fight in between, I believe. So his boxing was on point, and Aldo's speed was there. He looked really, really good in regards to his speed. Sort of a couple of leg kicks here and there, which was awesome to see. It's a weird feeling. It's like a geek out moment when you see Aldo do a leg kick. Because for a while, he kind of stopped that. I don't know if there was an injury or something there, but he kind of wasn't as vicious with his leg kicks as he once was. And I wonder if I'd love to see the correlation between like when Anderson Silva broke his leg, and if there was something to do with that, because there is some sort of that mental thing that some people might have. I don't know. But anyway, Aldo looked good. His speed looked good. He rocked Martinez in the 3rd round, and I thought he could have finished it on the fight, but the way he took Martinez down, he just threw him down and then just finished on top. And obviously Aldo is a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, but we all know him for his striking. But he looked good. He looked really good. I mean, Martinez definitely, I think he didn't put on the pace as much as he would have, and his corner was saying, don't show him all that respect. Stop showing him too much respect. And I think that's what ultimately made him maybe hesitate or whatnot. But I think Aldo himself was able to kind of nullify Martinez's pace, because Aldo was looking good. His movement was looking good. His hand speed just always looking great. Through a couple of those leg kicks, Aldo just looking great, man. It was good to see him back. I don't know if Aldo can make the title run in that division. I don't know. I mean, the competition's so high, and Aldo's just a vet who's just been there and gone through so many wars and whatnot. But I wish Aldo would do more. Like, I feel like, do some super fights. Super fights would be fun for Aldo. Be it in that division, going back up a weight class. I think that'll be great for Aldo. I just don't want to see another legend. I mean, look, he won, which is great. Just don't want to see him going on a losing streak and whatnot and then retire again. But it was just fun to see Aldo come back. Just legendary, legend of Brazil. Right, moving on. Anthony Smith, man, showing that he's still got it. He's still got it, you know. He was able to finish off undefeated Petrino. And that submission, that guillotine, it felt weird. I mean, Vitor just went for that takedown and just didn't really care about his neck, and Anthony Smith just locked in that guillotine tight. Um, Maybe that might be a bit of inexperience. Maybe that was just a confidence thing that he was like, yeah, whatever, I could just bust through this and whatnot. Anthony Smith got in that guillotine really tight and showed that he's still got it, you know, at least with the top 15, top 10, top echelon of top 10 in the lightweight division, the light heavyweight, sorry. So it's good to see Anthony Smith still doing it. I mean, the guy's had so many fights and whatnot. He gave John Jones a great fight. I don't know if, again, what he could do. I think definitely in the top 10, Anthony Smith is still a force to be reckoned with. But in that top 5, it's a tough one. But, you know, he's up, you know, he's tweeting out there that he'll fight, you know, Pereira and whatnot, put him out there, thinks he could take him down and submit him. You know, I think that will be ultimately the game plan if you're going against Pereira with anyone. But Pereira's practicing his wrestling and jiu-jitsu day in, day out. So, you know, he's improving, of course. But, you know, great to see Anthony Smith get that win. The middleweight bout and performance of the night, Michael Pereira, bloody hell, this guy, Michel Pereira, just, man, just so explosive, just an entertainer. He fought Ihor Potieria, and boy, did he just, from knocking him down, I believe, with a jab, doing a backflip, which caused a little bit of controversy because, like, did the knee hit the face or whatnot, but just doing a backflip into the guard, straight into a tight guillotine, just fast finish. I mean, he's killing it at middleweight right now. I don't know how that will work against the higher echelon of fighters in that division, because you're looking at some, you know, middleweight division is definitely some high-level wrestlers and whatnot, high-level strikers, but he's so fun, so explosive at that division, and maybe not cutting down to welterweight just gives him that extra bit of cardio and whatnot. So, I mean, Pereira is just so much fun. That backflip, it's just so fun. It's just so much fun. I mean, that backflip was just crazy. So is looking forward to see what more Pereira could do in that division. Does he pick, you know, based on who he fights, does he game plan different? You know, maybe he just thought, I'm just gonna go for it with Ihor, and just do his thing. But maybe as he gets in the upper echelon, he decides to be a bit more strategic with it. We'll see. But he's definitely a fun fighter. Always, anytime Pereira fights, you have to watch. It's super exciting. And then to start off the main card was a middleweight bout, Paul Craig versus Chio Baraleo. Paul Craig. Now, this is an interesting one. Like, I mean, Paul Craig fought in light heavyweight, and he freaking like beat champions. Like, he got Alkalaev in a last minute triangle. You know, he beat Jamal Hill. I feel it was an armbar or dislocated his shoulder and whatnot. Like, yes, on his back, it's just scary. I mean, no one is as good as him on his back. He's just absolutely scary. But getting on his back, getting people on his back is where I think he's finding it difficult. You know, because his striking to grappling exchange is not as smooth. You know, his striking looks very off. His head is very straight. So it's you know, Chio was just, hopefully I'm saying this right, Chio was able to just kind of, you know, throw straight strikes and be able to connect, ultimately connected. Was it a left hook? Might have been a left hook. That took it, and Paul Craig took a knee during that fight, like a flying knee. I mean, I'm surprised he survived that. I mean, Paul Craig could just survive some strikes, but ultimately was able to get the win by knockout. But it's Paul Craig striking. That's what it is. I know he tries to pull for guard and go for strike. It's his striking ability to grappling is where I feel that hopefully he'll improve. Obviously, he's working on that and whatnot, but his head's still in the same position. He just get clipped a lot. When he's striking in, it's like there's a hesitancy. It's not committing to the distance. And then not coming into the distance creates more distance for him to get the grappling exchange. So just learning on those striking abilities, clearing that distance, and then going straight into grappling, and then maybe pulling guard from there, or just working his grappling is where Paul Craig needs to be. But right now, just get into his back, get into the grappling exchange. I find is where he's finding it difficult. It just needs to kind of just work on that, which I'm sure he is every day. But that was it. That was excited to see, and Chio was able to get that win. On the prelims, I just wanted to give a shout out to, or not shout out, but just I watched most of it, but some of the ones to look out for was there was a fight between Elvis Burena versus, oh God, here's a name from Kazakhstan, Orolbia. That's his surname. His first name, oh my God, I can't even pronounce that. My Katayabek Orolbia. Anyway, another great, there's loads of memes and stuff going around. This guy looks like a caveman and whatnot. Looks like a Genghis Khan descent. From Kyrgyzstan. It's another country, one of those star countries. He fights out of Uriah Faber's camp. Alpha male wrestling. There we go. I think K West is joining just when I'm finishing up. Wrestling dominant, was able to apply the pressure of wrestling, especially in that first round. I mean, that pressure is where they apply so much. And Elvis was able to hold it up, and there was had some good explosive grappling exchanges. Ultimately, Oroblia was able to get, hopefully I'm saying his name right, was able to get the win with the pace and decision. But Elvis was able to put it on. I feel like if Elvis was able to put more of the pressure back on, there could have been a problem, like could have put on more problems, just because of that explosive grappling. But Oblobia puts on that pressure, and that's what it is. Always is. It's always that pressure. K West, are you joining? I don't know if you can hear me.
You there?
Yeah, there you are. There you are. I can hear you, bro.
Man, I'm like, you can hear me clearly or is it
You're a
just
bit quiet. You're a bit quiet.
okay, I'll go on.
But I was just I got started, bro, because I got a meeting and whatnot. So I kind of already gone through the main card. I'm just kind of talking about some of the highlights of the prelims actually. So um I was just talking about and I can't even pronounce the name, but another fighter from Kyrgyzstan. It's another country. I've never even heard of this one actually. But just that wrestling pressure was awesome. And there was one other fighter. I'm trying to find his name. He wasn't new. He came. Oh yes, Mauricio Ruffy, bro. If there's a fight, I don't know if you saw the fight, but if you want to see an up and coming, I think he was new to the UFC. Performance of the night, lightweight bout. He fought Jamie McCullough. McCullough, okay? My God, this guy's composure as like first time in the UFC was absolutely amazing. Can you hear me, yeah? Okay, Wes, you there? I'm not sure. I think he's frozen. But Mauricio Ruffy was absolutely fantastic. I mean, not just an amazing first appearance performance, but it was just the overall demeanor of this guy. And he was kind of compared to Conor McGregor's like first kind of time fighting. Just the stance, just the composure, just the performance was absolutely amazing. I'm trying to remember how he won now. That's how freaking it was a TKO. He even threw a Kung Lee used to do it, the scissors takedown or whatnot during the fight. I mean, that's how confident and like calm he was during the fight. That's how much like composure he had during the fight. That he felt comfortable throwing a scissors takedown during the fight. I mean, ultimately striking was amazing. I think he busted McKellar's nose, Jamie's nose with trying to remember what strike it was. It might have been an uppercut. But anyway, one to look out for. So calm. So I think if there's an up and comer or someone new you learned from this card, look out for Mauricio Ruffy because man, he looked good. And I feel like if he keeps that composure, keeps learning, keeps in that distance, man, this is someone that's going to be fun at lightweight division. This division's crazy. I mean, you don't want to get too excited. He just had his first fight in the UFC, but man, he just looked good. Someone excited to look out for. Did you manage to catch that fight? Or do you know who I'm talking about? Mauricio Ruffy?
No, no, but I will check it out. How did he win?
You're sounding very quiet, bro. Speak again. Say something.
I said, how did he win? How did he win his fight?
I can't hear you at all, bro.
No?
No, I don't know what. I want to listen to my volume. Keep speaking, keep speaking.
What about now?
Yeah. Okay, cool. How did he win? He won by knockout. He won by TKO knockout. But it's you got to watch his whole fight. Like it wasn't just a knockout. It wasn't just that. It was just a performance. The whole performance, the whole demeanor, the whole calmness. He just looked like I said. He was compared to Conor McGregor when he first started. He was just this confidence, but this confidence portrayed in his whole body movement. His whole
No,
like
it's
I said,
perfect.
he threw a scissors takedown. I mean, like who does that? Like in a fight, he was very confident and calm, and he just found everything, range, precision, timing, everything was just there. And if he can keep that, man, he will be definitely a fun person to look out for in the lightweight division. But he fought in the early prelims. You know, this is his first fight in the UFC, and it was definitely one to watch. It was super fun, super exciting fight to watch.
Okay, I'll have a look at that. Like I said, I was struggling at that time. I had like a migraine, and I should have just laid down and just not got up and watched the fight. But I think you messaged me, and I saw that, and I was like, oh, okay, I got to stream. And then my headache was gone, and I think too much screen time, and then boom, and I was like, oh no. So I need to go and rewatch a lot of the fights. But I did see a few though. I did see the main ones.
What did you think? We'll quickly go back there. What did you think of Aldo? What did you think of the title fight? Aldo for me was the most exciting part of the card, just because it's
For
Aldo,
me too.
right? So what was your thoughts?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you know what? I didn't actually get to see the main fight, but I saw Aldo. I saw most of Aldo's fight, and he had a very boxing heavy style. Didn't you think?
Hmm.
Very boxing heavy style, very dominant. I think the other guy seemed a little bit like I don't know, he's very like almost like starstruck or something. I don't know, but it's like he just was stuck, you know. Um, but anyway, like not taking nothing away from Aldo. I want to see what he can do next. That's my opinion. He looks really good, like we said on WhatsApp. He looks amazing. Yeah. So let's see what he can do. I think he wants to run for the championship again. Did you hear that? What do you
Yeah.
think about that?
I spoke about it earlier. I don't think so. I think he should just do super fights. Like he's so exciting.
Yeah.
He's a legend. He done this. He came up against the upper comer. He done great. I would say like make it exciting fights with him, like name fights, super fights. I don't think make it for the title one and whatnot. You know, Aldo's been through it, man.
Mm,
He's been through it. He's a champion. He's a legend. I would say, man, make some super fights. Fun to have him back. And keep it to that. That's just in my opinion.
I don't blame you for that because we share the same opinion when it comes to legends and not taking damage and just like you said, stay as a legend and just leave it. We share that opinion. But it's up to him, right? I'm surprised that he said he would come back and go for the championship. To be honest,
I mean, I guess that's most fighters' ultimate goals, right?
can
I
you hear
mean,
me?
all fighters, especially someone like Aldo, who was a champion,
You
was a
there?
dominant champion, a legend champion. So yeah, I would think that's his goal. But I just kind of wish like I'm glad he won. I'm glad he won because if he didn't win, I'll be like, oh man, I wish he didn't fight. I wish he didn't come back. Just because I don't want to see a legend go down. Like we see so many legends who just don't know how to, retire. Because it's hard, right? This is their
Yeah,
identity. If they know, if they do, like whole identity is fighting.
yeah, yeah,
Aldo's been
yeah,
from, like back in the days, he's a legend, man, old school legend, man. WC days and even before that, you know, the old Valetudo fights, like soccer kicking people in the head. Like that's when, you know, he was around from back then. Um, you know, I'm glad he won. And I just think like if you're gonna do a fight, please like make it like a super fight type thing, a fun fight type thing. Be it in this division, be it in the flyweight division, where he was, you know, dominant before as a champion, whatever it is. Like I would say just bring in fun fights and leave it to that.
On that note, what do you think about Aldo Conor too?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they'll give it to him, but he deserved it more than anyone because, you know, he was a dominant champion, and they never gave him a rematch just because of Connor's, you know, stardom and whatnot. And I don't think that was fair. But I don't think Aldo would get that fight. Aldo wouldn't get that fight, especially at flyweight. Connor ain't come down to flyweight.
Mm, okay, well then, who would you pair Aldo with then? Like that's the super fight person right now. Is there anyone you would put him with Aldo?
So you bantamweight division, right?
Wait, he's
They fought in bantamweight.
okay.
So I would say shit. So he
Has
just
he
fought
fought?
number
No.
12. He just
Hold
fought
on.
number 12, Jonathan Martinez. You got Dominic Cruz. Dominic Cruz could be fun. Actually, those are two names, two champions. So I think that could be a fun one. Dominic Cruz, number 11. Um, Henry
You know,
Cejudo.
it was meant to be Dominic Cruz. Sorry to cut you. Henry Cejudo. Oh no.
Why not? Triple C.
Because like I don't think he will come back. Like I think okay, I think it's an interesting matchup, but I think realistically he won't come back,
Who's
right?
Cejudo?
After what happened. Yeah. I
He
don't think
did
he
say
will.
that.
But I was gonna say,
I remember him saying he will come
oh,
back after that. He
oh, okay,
wasn't
so
done.
okay, so he's licking his wounds. But you know what? I heard from a credible source that it was meant to be Dominic Cruz against Aldo. I think
That
that's
would have
what it
been.
was. And then he got injured. He got injured.
Oh man, poor Dominic Cruz, man. That guy, his whole career, not whole career, but in that last part of his career, man, just nothing but injuries.
Yeah. Imagine that fight.
That's a fun fight.
Dominic
This is what I'm trying
Cruz.
to say. I think that's a super fight, fun fight. That's what I think he should do, something like that.
Yeah. Well, they tried. They did try. So yeah, you really got to think about changing your job, boy.
Yeah,
Be a
maybe.
matchmaker for the UFC.
No, I wish, bro. I wish. I'll make some stupid fights. Put it that way.
Anything's possible.
Who else? I think that should be the next fight because it's fun. Two fun names: Dominic Cruz, ex-champion; Aldo, champion, ex-champion. Put those two up. It's a fun fight. You could put that as a co-main event, or you know, for number 3 fight on the roster. That's fun. Two big names. That's more fun than trying to put Aldo against someone. I don't know. Look, Henry Cejudo at number 5 is great. Umar Nurmagomedov, that could be good. I don't know if you know that could be good. Rob Font, Song Yadong. Ferguson, yeah, that could be a one. Uh, Figueredo, Davison Figueredo. But those guys, see those guys, Marab, Corey Sanhagen, Peter Petroyan, Marlon Vera. They all,
Oh, Petroya. Wait, didn't they
they
fight?
all.
No.
I think they did. I think Aldo and Petroyan did. Remember, I think Aldo Petroyan, if I
Petroyan
remember,
beat him up.
beat him up. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
he beat him up. He beat him up.
Well, Petroyan, you know, he's lost. I mean, look, he's lost against a champion and all them whatnot. So maybe that could be another one he could get a rematch in. I would say, look,
Yeah,
say top 10. Top 10, you got
yeah.
Kyler Phillips, Umar Nurmagomedov, Rob Font, Sonia Dung, or Davison Figueiredo. So I would say Dominic Cruz. Actually, I say Dominic Cruz. He's number 11. That's the fight
That's
to
that's
make,
one.
in my
That's the
opinion. That's
yeah,
a fun fight to make.
yeah, yeah. Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. So I saw that one. Pantoja, I didn't see much of that. Like, can you give me a brief of that one? Like, was it one sided? Did you were you surprised by Erceg?
Yeah, no, so I
Uh,
spoke about
you
this
know,
earlier. So I spoke about it earlier. Yeah, like, no, yeah, surprised. Like, so Erceg held it up. He showed that he did deserve to be there. Your great grappling exchanges.
yeah,
Pantoja came out the gate. hard pace, fast pace, with the grappling, with the striking. Erceg came back, was able to compose himself, keep up, in this 5 round fight, able to keep some distance using the jab and whatnot. So he was looking at the end. I would say round 5 was 2-on-2, 2 rounds each. I think what ultimately let Erceg down is for some reason he went for a takedown in the end of round 5 and Pantoja ended up on top and he ended up winning the fight because Pantoja started round 5 good, then Sir Erceg came back. And then for some reason, Erceg decided to go for the takedown and Pantoja was able to reverse, ended up on top. And ultimately, that's what I think lost him the fight. So, yeah, but at the end of the day, Erceg showed that he belongs up there, which is what the main thing is. And I think the reason why they put number 10 Erceg here is because they're probably looking for, this was a Brazil card. So they wanted a Brazilian champion, obviously, what's his name, man? The light heavyweight champion, Alex Pereira, was fought in 300. So they wanted a Brazilian champion here who was Alexander
Right. Makes
Pantoja.
sense.
So they just wanted to
Makes
find
sense.
someone to come in to fight that. So, hey, but he belongs there. He belongs there. Maybe he can come back in the future and fix what went wrong. But great fight. It was a great back and forth fight.
When I saw the fact that it was a close decision, I kind of expected that because I was just kind of refreshing my page on Google and it was like decision 5 rounds, and I thought I knew if Erceg doesn't knock him out, Pantoja works hard and he scrambles like a motherfucker and he can do a lot of it, but he gets hit a lot. But I kind of expected it to be what it was, which is a close decision. So yeah, I mean, if Erceg gave him that hard time, definitely deserves to be there and probably will come back in the future, right? So,
Definitely. He'll definitely come back in the future. I don't see any reason why he's definitely a title contender and he's number 10. So he can take another fight, get back up there. He showed that he deserves to be up there. So that's the main thing. He's probably pushed himself into the
you
top
know,
5.
yeah. No, for me, he's the most boring looking MMA fighter I've ever seen. Well, sorry, bored looking. He's the most bored looking MMA fighter I've ever seen. He looks so bored.
People say he looks like Steve Carell. That was one of the things that they were saying. He looks like Steve Carell.
he, he's got a little bit of that, but mostly it's just somebody who's really fucking bored.
He definitely can fight, man. Whether he looks bored, don't get twisted.
No
He'll
doubt,
definitely throw a left
no
hook.
doubt, no doubt, no
Um,
doubt. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, cool. I mean, look, I spoke a lot about the rest of the card already. I would say if there's any other fight to recommend or anyone other fighter to look out for, I mean, check out Michelle Pereira's fight. Super exciting, but it's that guy,
Oh,
Mauricio
I
Ruffy.
saw that.
Mauricio Ruffy. If there's anyone to look out
This
for, watch him because there's
that
something about him, and I don't know if
dirty.
he's gonna pull it off. I don't know if Mauricio Ruffy can pull off the same composure every time, but after this fight, you need to watch him. You need to just see him because he looked good. So that's someone to be
Wait,
excited about.
Micho Perez.
No, I'm talking about Mauricio Ruffy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But
So
I saw uh, Perez fight though. That was nice.
yeah. No, I spoke about that one. That was fun. He's definitely a
Yeah,
fun guy to watch.
you hear me?
Yeah, you're cutting out in and out. Your internet's not too good
Guy pulled
today.
a moonsault.
Yeah, your internet's not too good, brother. You're cutting in and out, so it's
What?
we can't really catch you. Let's
Don't worry.
Yeah, let's finish off real quick with the next week's card. I mean, we've got another card next week, which actually it's not actually not a bad card. You got Derek Lewis, who's always fun, fighting Rodrigo oh my God, here's another name, man. Nascimento, number 15 in the heavyweight division. And then you got Joaquin Buckley, who asked to be on this card, fighting Nursulton Wabzi from Uzbekistan. So anyway, that's another fun fight there. Who else you got? You got Alex Casera on this card. who's also fun. Chase Hooper's on this card. Next week should be a fun one, man. Next one should be a nice one to watch.
Can you hear me better now?
I am, but I think your internet's not as good. You keep cutting in and out.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, but they're fighting in St. Louis, which is the hometown, I believe, of Derek Lewis and like Joaquin Buckley and whatnot. So should be a fun card. Should be a fun card to watch for next week. Cool, man. Was there any other MMA news before we lock off for today? Any other MMA anything else you heard?
There is, but if you can't hear me, there's no point in me talking about it. So
Yeah, you're
yeah,
cutting in and out. All right. Well, look. Thanks for joining anyway, man. Thanks for joining. Oh, at least you got some of your thoughts across. Guys, thanks for watching and all that good stuff. We will always give you the breakdown and give you our thoughts, regardless of, internet connections, or if I'm just doing it solo, if K West is doing it solo, we always try and give our thoughts anyway on the fights. But on that note, we call it. All right, we out. Peace. Catch you on the next week's episode.